Unscripted.
Unshackled.
Uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for mature ears only.
It's Miguel Fuller.
I would show anything. I'd show my hee-hee and my hoo-hoo and my ha-ha.
Holly O'Connor.
Hey, Daddy, you want to take this to the bedroom?
And Scotty the Body.
I am officially not only the grill daddy, but I'm a hot grill daddy.
Oh,
It's
wow.
the Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast.
Only from Hot 101.5. Tampa Bay's new hit music.
Hello and welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
You can hear this on anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio,
Nice.
wherever. And then you can also watch this all go down on the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel.
True.
Nice.
So it's a Monday. We're all back from the weekend. And Scott, it looked like yesterday, because we haven't really broken down exactly what happened to you on Sunday Fun Day.
Oh, gosh.
But I just said at the end of our broadcast show how yesterday on Sunday, I was getting ready to make dinner. And before I was preparing all of my chicken breasts, I looked at Abe and I was like, I wonder if Scott and maybe his lady friend, who I know he's hanging out with today, if they're going to come for dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me
know how many chickens you got. Get ready.
Yeah, let me see how many breasts I need to handle.
Hey.
So,
No. Why?
so I looked on Instagram and it was 30 minets ago, Scott was at Postcard Inn with a shot in his hand or a drink in his hand.
yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
Okay.
I don't think Scott and his lady friend coming to dinner.
No,
There's
no.
going to be no handling of the breasts.
No.
Not those anyway.
Okay. They're going to be different breast handled. So, Scott, what happened
Why are we
yesterday?
Yeah, no, yesterday was... well, yesterday, me and my lady friend, we were supposed to go on the boat with somebody. That was the plan. It was like Sunday, boat day. We're like, okay, cool. Got everything ready to rock. And then I don't know why, just the last seconds, people just cancel. Literally just we're not doing it anymore. Okay.
The boat people said they're not doing it
Boat
anymore?
people just not doing the boat anymore. And then we're like, oh, do you guys want to go to the beach? They're like, no. We're like, you know what? F it. So me and my lady friend, we packed up a cooler and went our happy asses down to the beach, got a couple chairs, packed the cooler full of drinks, and just posted up on the beach for hours.
Ooh, drinking
having-
in the sun.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Sitting there till 12:30 all the way to 4-ish. And then we finished our drinks and we're
Woo!
I saw there's a DJ over at Postcard Inn. I guess they were just popping over there. We're
They
like,
have a good time going on a postcard.
They
Inn,
do.
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? Hey, we're still here. Night is young. Let's go over, pop by the DJ. And so we went over, got ourselves another couple drinks, started dancing with the DJ. It was packed. It was loaded up. People were there. We got another drink, hanging out a little longer. So it felt like I was raging, ready to go out on a Friday, but it was a Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah, and then we hung out a little longer and then eventually went out to another lightning party with her friends to go watch a little bit of the lightning game as they're in the playoffs.
Where was that? It was on the beach?
No, that was at somebody's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody's really nice house. So
I got you.
posted up there for a little bit and then eventually had to make my way home.
What time did you get home last night?
11, something like that. 10:30,
I mean,
11.
I can check.
Yeah, you can check. I think
Thanks
it
to
was
Safe Touch
10:30.
Security, I can always know what's
Yeah,
happening
I feel
at my
that's
house.
the creepiest thing that you ever do.
It was
or like-
late. I remember
creepy.
looking at my ETA on my GPS. I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting home late. Yeah.
Late on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Did you?
10:25 is when you got home.
Okay, well,
nice.
it wasn't 11.
Mhm.
Wasn't, yeah. So
Wait, did she come home?
no, she didn't come to my place.
Because I was like, then that was been.
I'm
another
Are you
hour.
sure? Because it looks like you unlocked the door again at 10:34, 10 minutes later.
That's because I left my retainers in my car. I left my
Whoops.
aligners. I was like, I can't not sleep with
No,
those.
you
That's
gotta-
number one rule.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely didn't. But there are plenty of nights where I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm staying up late. Come on over, lady friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At any point, did you feel a sense of panic or dread during your Sunday Fun Day?
No, not really. I expect to feel tired and warm, but I'm
Man.
like, I'm just so right now just living in the moment of you know what? I'd rather be tired because of a great time than skip out on a great time because I'm scared of being tired.
Miguel, and I'm not upset. I'm not any negative type of way, but I'm just going to talk directly to Miguel real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
We walked so this boy could run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We walked so he could run.
Yeah.
And I say that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want to like trivialize PTSD, but like even now on a Sunday, if I'm like doing something out of the normal, I start to get panicked because when we were coming up, and I know it's like lame to hear geriatric millennials tell these stories, but it was so like we just couldn't because we would get screamed at and yelled at, and like it just. I'm glad that you are able to live your best life on a Sunday and not feel that heavy burden of guilt and panic.
Yeah.
I'm glad for that.
I am too. Well, I mean, I remember maybe years by now, but like one of the conversations I remember Miguel said to me is like, you have to go out and live life. You have to be able to bring experiences back. And so in the back of my head, when I'm getting crunk, I'm like, oh man, I feel like doo-doo in the morning. Well, I'm like, man, Miguel said live it up. Got to have those experiences. So go fly.
Yeah.
My boy.
Fly. Spread those wings.
And I don't know how long it'll last, but I just feel like right now I'm in a phase where I'm like, man, let's go.
That phase will probably last for the next 6 years.
That's cool. And that's what I expect. I expect by the time like I'm, older 20s, 30, and I'm like probably slowing it down with maybe a family and more serious I am serious in my career. But where I'm like, if I don't show up, like nothing happens. Like, I've never missed a day. I've never been late, but let's just say if I did, like, I know everything would be just fine. Like, y'all got it. But that's never going to happen. But that's never the thought. I always know, like, I will show up. Like, if I even went to bed at 1, I'd still wake up at, 3:30, 4.
Well, we would. That's how we do.
And still be here.
Yeah.
It's just, I realize Sundays aren't the best for it. It's just yesterday, all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm at Postcard Inn drinking with a DJ.
Though. They just do it. Like,
oh, it was packed. Like, crazy amount of people out there and like raging. Like I was, partying, but people were just going hard. And that's all I could think. Cause I was like, y'all go to work tomorrow? Like, what do y'all do?
I know I can't like the only time that I had a similar experience to that, because Sunday Fun Day was not a thing prior to me having a child. Like I remember that wasn't a thing. Like Sundays were for like, remember when Netflix mailed you a DVD? Yeah. Sundays were for like the DVD you got that week from Netflix.
Yeah. Or you go
pizza.
to the Red Box.
Right. You go to Red Box, you get some pizza. That was like a Sunday thing. And then after I had Maya, suddenly Sunday Fun Day became a thing. And I'm like, thanks, guys. We missed out. But I do remember when I did middays in Ohio. And so I didn't have to be at work till 9. Like I usually got there about 8:30 was like my normal getting to work time. But at the late end, like if I didn't show up till 9, I would be okay. So on Tuesdays, me and my work friends would go out to like these little dive bars. We had our Tuesday drink club. It was literally just called Tuesday Drink Club.
Oh,
because we would
just call it what it is.
We would make it plain.
Right.
And we would like start drinking after work about 5 and stay out like sometimes till late. And then if places weren't really like serving after a while on a Tuesday, we would just go to somebody's house and just continue to get lit. And probably I would get to bed until at like midnight, 1, and be totally fine to get to work by 9.
Right.
So it's just the hours.
Yeah.
Like it just, because we have weird hours, it always baffles me when I see people living their, PM lives during the week. That's just because it's not my life. So I get it. I've lived it before, just not now.
Well, what's interesting with it is I never really did it either. Like the cool thing about my lady friend right now is like, she's like, one of the qualities I really enjoy is that fun attitude. Like, let's go. Let's see what the day takes us. And I've never really, I don't have a group of friends right here like now that are like, Scott, let's go hit a couple bars on a Friday or Saturday. So I'm like, okay. And then my lady friend's like, yo, let's go do something. I'm like, all right. And she like gives the plan. And I'm like, I love that because I'm not a planner. I just tell me where to go. I'll be there and I'm down to have a good time. I like just having someone be like, oh, we're doing this.
Okay. I know we don't talk about lady friend because there's lots of people. We're not settling down. We're just having fun. Oh my God. That brought back a memory. Like when my person and I first got together, we were like, we're just having fun. We're just
fun.
having fun.
Just
In fact,
fun.
I have very vague Facebook memories from quote, just having fun. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
We were just having fun. We knew it was more than fun, but whatever. So you are just having fun.
Yeah.
What can I ask? Like, I don't really know anything about her as a human. I mean, we've met and I know I follow her on socials, but can you tell like a general distinction of what she does? Like, or no?
You know what's interesting about what she does is it's very hard for me to, because oh gosh.
Like I didn't ask because we all went out, right? I've met her, but I was already in a deep conversation with Miguel at that point, and I could not tear myself away from that to like put on my, so tell me more about you, which I really regret. I honestly do. I'm very sad about that. But it was I was just in a different place. Whatever. So I didn't get to ask, but like I'm very curious what she's doing.
Like her
work.
Career?
Yeah. Is she the same age as you or younger?
She's like a year or so older.
Older. Okay. So she is not in school.
No, not in school.
We're
Working
playing
hardcore.
a weird charades game right now.
This is fun to just sit back and listen to right now.
So she has a job.
How much info I could give on her? I mean, she does like staffing, recruiting.
Staffing.
Recruiting,
Okay. Okay. So would she be in that category of people who don't have to get up at the crack of dawn to go to work?
No, she gets up pretty dang early.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she has to be in pretty early. She's a trooper too. Yeah.
Okay.
Is she her life situation? Is she sort of like you, where it's like you're just starting out, you're living with roommates, you just got your first full-time job, or has she, is she experienced in the workplace?
She's been pretty. I mean, she's been in her place for a couple years now, and she doesn't have a roommate. She has her own house. So I'm like, dang,
She
girl,
owns it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, dang.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, girl, get it. Like,
how were we doing with our lives, Miguel? At that age?
We were fucked.
We were a fucking mess. A mess.
Well, our industry also doesn't lead
No, it
you to
doesn't.
really like buy houses and put down roots because one, you're not making anything to be able to do that.
Thanks.
And two, you never know when you could just get plucked up and drop down in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Right. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so homegirl got a house.
Yeah. She's responsible. She's
She
an
got
adult.
her own money and she pay her own bill.
Now, you've said before on the air about her that you two are sort of in a similar place when it comes to not wanting to be serious. You're okay with like talking to other people. We know on your side what led you to that because you've been in relationships all of your life.
Yes.
And you're like, you know what? I want to be single. I want to figure out who I am and get experience.
You're still dealing with a lot in your life, like a lot of traumas from last year.
Yeah.
Right. So that's sort of stopping you from settling down and being in a long-term relationship. What has gotten her to this point, obviously being vague, but like what's gotten her to this point to where she's sort of in the mindset of, I'm not really ready to settle down with a relationship?
I think probably just failed relationships in the past and living her best life now. Just like she has a great group of friends and like she just enjoys that time. She didn't want to, I don't think you want to pursue something if it's you go back to your past things and like there's garbage. You're like, you know what? I'm actually way better just doing my own thing than settling with someone. And I think even our situation, how it kind of started, it wasn't like we definitely both went into it with the intention of like nothing serious. But, even I caught myself, and we said it on the air, Holly, and something really sticks out where it's like you talked about, well, if you feel something, maybe, invest more time into that. Like maybe it is time for you to invest more time in that. And I've been thinking about that a lot where I'm like, wait, it has been almost 8 months since I've been single. Like, okay, I've done my thing,
right?
Bopped around a little bit, but also,
A lot.
I don't say a lot. I just, explored a couple things. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, wait, I do have genuine feelings for this girl. I'm like, well, maybe I should invest a little more. We have like the cool thing that I really enjoy. What's that? Miguel. Is that we are able to have those conversations. Like we could like literally just talk straight and be like, this is where I'm at. This is where you're at. Here's exactly how I feel. Here's how you feel. Like, and I guess that's exactly how it should be. But in the past, I haven't always been like that. It's very hard for me to be open and honest because I don't want to hurt people and I don't want to, put things in a way that I think it's going to hurt them. The cool thing with her is she's been on the same page with everything and I could be completely honest and it hasn't been a problem at all as long as we're honest and putting it all out there and understanding where we're at with things.
Yeah. And that makes sense. And I guess because let me catch everybody up. So if you listen to the podcast, you may not listen to the on-air show and vice versa. On air, there was this whole segment, this whole big to-do, which was what, Friday maybe or Thursday?
It was Thursday.
Okay, so and we had this whole conversation about how should Scott be FaceTiming a hookup buddy because at like night, a good night FaceTime.
No, I gave her a FaceTime. I want to say what up. You know?
I know, because you wanted to. You like to chat with her, and why not have a FaceTime? And you went to bed feeling good.
I did.
So then we gave you a bunch of shit like we do, especially Miguel, who was like, "What are you doing?" And I think some of the listeners misconstrued it as like us saying that you should not FaceTime people ever or FaceTime your friends with benefits people. And I'm like, I think the message got a little lost, but the podcast is a good time to more deeply dive into that, where as we kept going, because I was in Miguel's boat, right? I'm like, why are you FaceTiming this woman? Y'all are friends with benefits. You're supposed to have boundaries up and lines that don't get crossed. Otherwise things get messy and then someone's going to get hurt. We're sitting over here like, freaking judgy parents on a line.
Yeah.
I'm judging.
Get out of here.
But the more we talked about it and the more you were adorably awkward and embarrassed and all this, the more I started feeling like, are you putting off diving deeper with this woman because we and others have told you shouldn't? And then I started to feel like, I mean, who the fuck am I to say, wait a minute? Like, yes, it is good advice. I'm going to say, like, we're pretty good at giving advice.
Yeah.
But we don't always have the answers for everything. And what we say is coming from our own experience in life, personally, watching other people, whatever. And so then I started to think, maybe what we've been pushing Scott to do, which is have fun, and you even said you wanted to, get to know yourself better. Maybe that's a little bit misguided because we haven't taken the time to really see if it's applicable fully to your situation. And so I'm not saying like jump into a relationship, but I am saying, and I think the most important question to me that I asked was, do you even really enjoy this whole single life thing that's going on? And you're like, I don't love it. And I'm like, okay, not all humans are the same. Like, yes, it's great to be single and find who you are and know yourself. Miguel notably had a fantastic summer of single that literally turned his life around. So obviously, Miguel's coming from a place of, do this, it changed me. I spent a really long time single in my early 20s, into my mid 20s. I was the single Pringle because I didn't even want to go on dates. I just wanted to live. And so like I have certain thoughts and aspects of learning and growing and whatnot, but that is not how it works for everyone. And like Miguel said on the show, some people can find who they are while also being in a relationship, as long as there is some mutual respect for individual growth. And I was like, it was sort of like a mind blown moment for me because I was like, oh fuck, I think I done fucked up. So I just ask all these questions, and I just, there's no pressure for anything, and I think that's the key here. There's obviously no pressure for you to be in a relationship because y'all have both said you're not really looking for that right now.
Yeah.
But there is an undeniable bond and connection between the two of you that ain't going nowhere. Miguel, leave your microphone alone and do not include it in actions on this podcast.
You can go to the YouTube channel to see it.
But there's also, and I had to come to this and understand myself that it was okay. There's no pressure to keep being single for a certain amount of time before you learn enough.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that kind of got effed up in my head for a little bit. I was like, I got to be like this time period.
You
then
have to be single.
Maybe I could, maneuver back in or whatever it is. But I did like the thought process of like, if you feel a type of way, maybe take a step more toward that and kind of invest a little more in that instead of being like so scared to invest. And that's my thing right now. It's like, okay, like in the beginning, I was very scared to invest because I'm like, okay, all I have is a track record of literally like a 2-3 year relationship. My last relationship, 4.5 years. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, that's a lot of time. And that's how I look at relationships right now. And I kind of want to readjust how I look at them where I'm like, you're not looking at this long ass commitment that could end in flames. You're looking at a connection with someone that you genuinely enjoy your time with. And I have been able, and again, if I enjoy hanging out with you, I'm going to continue to hang out with you. And that's where I kind of compare it to, where it's like there's other people I've hung out with and I've been immediately like, nope.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, yeah, we can't do it. And that's nothing against them. It's just I knew immediately. I was like, that is
Wasn't a
not a
match.
connection.
Yeah, you know.
And that's why it's weird, because with this, it's like, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I look at the month line of how long I've actually been communicating with my lady friend. I'm like, well, damn, it's been a good chunk of time.
Right. So
I'm
obviously,
still connected to you.
There's something there.
Yeah. So, and the cool thing is, again, it's not like she's not someone, I know a lot of listeners got maybe like, they threw in a wrench of like, she's trying to, maybe like entrap you or like get you like invested. It's like her whole intention in the beginning was absolutely not this. And she still questions of like, whoa, what, I did not expect, to feel some type of way towards you. And I'm like, man, vice versa. I feel you. So now we're just, taking it day by day, but also not holding back as much. When I'm like, man, I want to hang out with you, or I want to FaceTime you. Like, I'm going to do it. I want to go see my friends and I want you to come along. You're the one that I want to bring.
Yeah.
So not holding back so much in those realms, because it's fun and I'm enjoying it. So seeing
then
where it goes.
You got to do it then. And fuck what we said. I am way willing to admit when I realize that I may have made an error in judgment.
No, I mean, it's good judgment. Again, it's still a thing that you should always, I think, cautionly go into.
It is. And it comes from a place of not wanting to see someone get hurt.
Yes.
Because we love you so much. Yeah. Obviously, we want what's best for you, which again, parallel to parenting. But there's a point where it's like, hands off a little bit.
Yeah.
Let a bitch make their own choices, and you don't have to do what we say.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm still back and forth with my head and how I think about it. But I think the one thing, I talked to her about this too, is I think in the past, I've been scared to break things off when even it should have been broken off.
Yeah.
And I think I'm now at a place where I'm like, if we're not vibing, if they're not clicking anymore, like immediate, like I just,
And it's tough. It's never not tough to break it off with someone, because there's going to be some
of course,
shit.
yeah. But that's the thing I feel more comfortable about now. Like if we even, let's just say we decided to take a more exclusive route down the line and be like, okay, I would feel more comfortable, and I would, I hope she would too. It's like, yeah, until it's not working, and like, we'll have a great time. But if it's not, and you start getting like, let's be open with each other. Let's not get to a point where just feel like we have to be in this. Like, and that's been clear from the very beginning, even as just friends with benefits.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to do this, or if you like not having any fun anymore, like boom, call it. That's cool. And I mean, I signed up for that. I know what I signed up for when I'm like getting invested in feelings wise. I'm like, I can handle being hurt. I'm cool. I've been hurt before.
Hurt? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's almost, let me watch my words. That's a silver lining of going through some deeply painful shit.
Yes.
Because it really puts life in perspective for you, where you're like, well, I've been through this, so I'm pretty sure I'll live.
Oh, that,
like, even though some, like a littler pain, like a smaller pain or whatever, nobody wants to hurt.
No.
But we learn through pain. And so that when you've been like just thrown through the absolute shit, then you come out the other side and you're like, I made it. Like I'm stronger for that. Not that anyone wants that for you, but when you're dealt really heinous circumstances and you continue to swim, then you realize like, okay, a breakup would hurt and it would suck for X amount of time.
Yeah.
I'd be okay at the other end.
Yeah. And I don't stray away from it now. Like I realize that. And that is, I mean, I've said that before. I've said that, to people in the, like her specifically. I'm like, look, like I don't want to stop myself from a potentially cool thing because I'm scared of being hurt, because in all honesty, like nothing will put me to an extent of what I've been through. Like I know that. So like, I'm okay if I do get hurt here. Like I know I'll survive because I've survived things in the past, and I don't want that to stop me from something that's enjoyable, because I don't, it could be something that's great, and I'm not going to regret it. And even if I get hurt, I'll be like, I'm still happy that I went through with the experience.
Because then you're not letting fear rule your life.
Exactly. That's kind of like a big part of this whole thing anyway. Why does it look, Miguel?
I'm curious, Miguel, what's going on in your head?
I was just sort of soaking in everything and just sort of listening. I'm going to make a prediction that you two will be together by the end of the year. I honestly
don't think that's an outrageous prediction.
No.
I think that's pretty. I mean, I feel that too.
Right. Well,
but there's again no pressure.
No. Well, I just think that as I've watched you go through this process and, getting to know her a little bit just from the times, that she's at the house and the little times that we've talked, I just get the feeling that you two are both, you're like, well, this is what we need to do to like make sure that we're okay emotionally. So we're not going to like get too close, but like we like each other and we're going to hang out all the time. And the reason why I say that is that's how I felt when Abe and I got together, my fiance, because we both kept saying like, this is weird. Like the way that we're coming together and the way that things are laying down together, I feel like I should know better than to do this, but like we both can't stop. And then it just happens. And then you're like, wow, I really care deeply for you and I can be myself 100%. And to me, that is such an amazing space to be in, is when you can just literally be whoever you are and you feel comfortable and you feel like that person is not going to judge you for whatever. Like I can be my moody, emotional, happy, dancy, vulnerable self and not feel judged. And I always get that feeling when I see the two of you together. And that's why a lot of times, like I'll just be on the couch watching TV and I'll see you two like in the kitchen or doing something. And I just like watch because it's like, there's comfort in the way you two interact with each other.
Yeah.
And that's not something I've seen with other people that you've talked to. So that's why I'm just kind of like, well, just can't wait to see what happens. It's going to be exciting. So last question.
Yes.
When do you start to, or are you, or do you have a plan to sort of not talk to other people? So not necessarily saying that you are exclusive with her, but you're like, I don't feel like putting out my emotional self out there to other women.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, I don't know.
And you may not have a plan, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really have
may
a
not
plan,
be
but
an
I
answer.
catch myself like finding that now, like where I'm like, okay, people hit me up, or like maybe I'll even set something up, but I'm like, the excitement of it doesn't match, and so I'm like, okay. And I've told her this before too. I'm like, okay, like when I've been on dates and I go on dates, I'm like, okay, like I could either be hanging out with my lady friend that I've been hanging out for a while, I have a connection with that's really cool, or I go on this new date that's completely new experience and it can completely suck. Like I'm like, I mean, in reality of it, that's a lot of times, I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna go hang out with my lady friend. Like I know it's a good time. Every time's a good time versus testing out this, who are you? And then we go and it's awkward and there's not really a connection. And I'm like, well, shoot.
So interesting to like go on a first date, which is supposed to be fun and exciting, and then be like, can't wait till this is over to go hang out with the other girl I'm seeing. Like, I would kind of hate it if I was like a random first date of yours. I'd be like, well, why are we even here?
Well, I guess it's just because I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I should be going on a dates, but at the same time, like, what if you like somebody, like maybe just hang out with them instead of like trying to force, like, what is that's the question Miguel asked me many months ago, is like, what's your end game? That would be the question in these dates. What's my end game in these dates? I don't know. Thought that's what I'm supposed to do.
It kind of just feels like, okay, it kind of feels like you're doing them because you feel like you should, which I feel like is partly Miguel and I's fault. Sorry.
Society, me too.
And also, I feel like it's kind of like it's an unspoken way, probably because I'm assuming she goes on dates too.
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. Like, she can. I'm sure she has, but I think she's in the same boat there too. Where it's like, I just enjoy your presence more, but also I don't want to know. Like, I'm good with not knowing.
Can we have her in a podcast and we'll ask her? We'll put on the voices, guys.
Oh my god.
No, I just know myself. I'm like,
when was who's the last guy you were with outside of Scott?
I don't want to know. It's cool.
Like, I couldn't used to do, like, once I started to get interested in someone, it felt like I was being fake with other people. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I could be real with a person, and then if I had like gone out or whatever with other people, then I'd be like, this feels weird. So I couldn't do that for an extended period of time. And I feel like you're that way too. But then secondly, it just feels like you're like, I mean, is there anything better than what I got? And that's kind of like the Gen Z curse of Tinder and having all these dating sites and millennials, where it's like you're presented with all these people. And it's like, okay, this one's meeting like 8 of the 10 criteria, but is there someone that meets all 10? Like,
but I totally get that. And I felt that because all of my dating experience was online. I mean, I had been online dating since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Being gay, there were no other gay kids at my school and I wasn't out totally. So I would talk to other gay teens online. So like, I always felt that sort of like, well, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
But there is just a feeling that you get of, like, I remember I was talking to several different guys when Abe finally asked me out. And there was one that I was really like, we had gone out on 2 dates, I think. And I was kind of like.
You said you were excited about this.
Yeah,
person.
I was excited about him. And
I had
he was
marked
a great
him
guy.
down in my head as, okay, this is the next big thing.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I think this is really going somewhere. And I remember being at the John Mayer concert that year and being like, God, I really wish that, Homeboy was here. And then it was like a Mack truck hit me when Abe asked me out. And then especially after like just that week we talked when he used to travel for work. And then after that first date, I was like, there is just electricity here that is just different. Like, this is a game changer. And so then I remember after that weekend, I maybe that Monday or Tuesday, like the different guys that I was like texting with, I was like, I don't even have the emotional space, the bandwidth to like, so that was the exciting part of being single. Like, I remember we'd be here at the, doing the show and all the texts would come in from like a Aaron or a Scott or a whatever, or Jason. And it was like, ooh, what are they going to say? And then I was like, I'm only looking for Abe's text. I don't give a fuck about what anybody else and what are the good mornings.
Right.
So there's just that feeling that you get where you're like,
but it doesn't always happen for people the way it happened for you.
Right. Like that was like, boom.
Yeah. That was like a Mack truck. Sometimes for some relationships, it can ramp up slow and almost take you by surprise.
Right. And I feel like for Scott, this situation, if it turns out to be that way, that this has been like a slow build, but there's going to be, if it hasn't already happened, a Mack truck moment where you're going to be like, I don't want to talk to nobody else. I'm done.
Yeah.
But on that note, we got to go.
Okay.
Oh.
We got to go. Sorry. Scott, what's your social media information?
At Scott Tavlin, SCOTTTAVLIN.
Holly.
Radio Holly on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
And mine is Miguel Fuller, MiguelFuller. You can also shoot me an email, and I'll get you some Miguel and Holly swag, some stickles. Miguel at hot1015tampabay.com. Just send me your address, and please leave us a 5-star rating and a review wherever you listen to the podcast. Bye.
Catch up with the previous episodes of the Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast from Hot 101.5.
Just hit up the Hot 101.5 app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Search Miguel and Holly Uncensored.